non-metal and metalloids. Okay, and today we will discuss about corrosion of metals. Okay, so what is corrosion? Corrosion means slow destruction of metals. When metals are exposed to atmosphere, gradually they undergo slow destruction. Means the quality of the metal will be destroyed slowly. That is known as corrosion. Okay, so corrosion occurs in number of metals. Some of them today we will discuss. Okay, so here at first we will discuss about rusting. This is a very well known topic to you. Rusting is the corrosion of iron. Okay, when iron metal when it is exposed to atmosphere, it undergo rusting. So what is rusting? Rusting is nothing but the hydrated ferric oxide. Okay, so what happened when iron is exposed to atmosphere, when it will get in contact with oxygen, when it will get in contact with the atmospheric moisture, it forms a bluish, a powdery, brownish, a powdery brownish color coat over it. That is known as rust. Okay, and if you will not prevent rust at the earlier stage, it will fully damage the iron, and again we cannot use that iron. So rusting is a tendency occurred in metal, especially in iron, which destroy the iron fully. Gradually it destroy it, and at last we cannot use that iron at all. Okay, so here I have written the word and chemical equation. You can note it down. Iron when reacts with oxygen, especially in presence of moisture. Okay, moisture means obviously it contains water. Okay, water vapor. So when it reacts with oxygen in presence of water vapor, it forms hydrated ferric oxide. Okay, actually ferric oxide is not a proper term for rust. We should write hydrated ferric oxide. So here I have written 2Fe plus 3O2 gives rise to Fe2O3 dot XH2O. Here X I have written because we cannot write the exact number of moisture. Depending upon the climatic condition, depending upon the atmosphere where the iron is placed, the number of water varies. Okay, that's why we cannot mention the number of water here. So we can write the equation like this. So this is known as rusting, and as I said, rusting can be prevented at the earlier stage, or else it will fully damage the iron, and again we cannot use it. Okay, so let us discuss some of the rust prevention techniques. What are the preventive measures by which we can prevent rusting? The first one is painting. I think it is well known to you. You generally used to paint your cycles to prevent it from rust. Okay, so painting is a very common process by which we can prevent rust. Again, so many other examples we can take. The grills of our house, the iron gates, we used to paint it to prevent it from rusting. Okay, so painting can be of different types, different things we can use as painting. So the first one here I have written oil and grease. Okay, if you will apply a thin layer of oil and grease over iron, then it will not allow iron to get in contact with atmospheric moisture up to some time. Okay, up to some period, and rusting can be prevented. Again, after some month or some years, again we have to oil and grease it. Okay, generally the grills of our house, gates, machines that are the rusting can be prevented by oiling and greasing. We generally use oil and grease in our cycles also. Okay, in the chain of the cycle to prevent it from rust. Okay, next, lead painting. Okay, most of the time red color lead is also used to paint the gates, you might have observed. So that is called lead painting. Okay, lead is used to paint iron so that we can prevent it from rusting. It will not allow iron to get contact with the atmospheric moisture. The third one is coal tar painting. Okay, coal tar Generally, coal tar painting is done for the metals which are used underwater. Generally, in the breeze, or generally the metals which are used in ships. Okay, that kind of metals, which most of the times, the kind of metal which are exposed to water, that kind of metals are painted with coal tar painting. A thick black color paint is applied. Okay, so this is all about painting. The second one is metal painting. When metals are used for painting, we call it as metal painting. Okay, the first one is galvanization. Galvanization means when zinc is coated over iron, we call it as galvanization. Very important, just remember, when zinc is coated over iron, we call it as galvanization. As I said, metal painting. One metal is applied over other metal. One metal is painted over other metal. So when zinc is applied over iron to prevent it from rusting, we call it as galvanization. Okay, and galvanization is a very widely used process in industries. Generally, cooking utensils are not, painted by using zinc, or galvanization process is not applied for cooking appliances, because the food that we are taking are slightly acidic in nature, and that acid, when it will react with zinc, it will be poisonous for our body. That's why galvanization is a technique which is not used for cooking utensils. Okay, so painting or applying zinc over iron is known as galvanization. Okay, generally you might have observed nails. Okay, iron nails are galvanized. Okay, silvery color you can find, that are the painting or the coating of zinc. Got it? Next, electroplating. Electroplating is a process in which some of the metals, they are used to paint it over iron, like aluminium, chromium, tin, okay, manganese. So some of the metals, they are used to coated or to painted over iron to prevent it from rust. So when chromium is used, we call it as chrome plating. Okay, when chromium is used as painting, we call it as chrome plating. When tin is used as painting, we call it as tinning. Okay, very simple. Just remember these terms. You might got it in short questions. When chromium is used, we call it as chrome plating. When tin is used, we call it as tinning. Okay, so some of the metals, when we use it in painting to prevent the metal, to prevent iron from rusting, we call it as what? Electroplating. The last one is alloying. Okay, what is alloy? Alloy is a homogeneous mixture of metals and non-metals, you know already. So when we use both metals and some non-metals to prevent rust, we call it as alloying. Okay, so some of the metals and metals like aluminium, chromium, tin, and non-metals like carbon. Okay, so some of the metals and non-metals, when they are used to prevent rust, we call it as alloying. Stainless steel is a very widely used alloying. Okay, alloying is a technique which is used to make stainless steels. You might have heard about this name. Generally, cooking utensils are made of stainless steel, and alloying is a method by which rust can be prevented for a longer period. That's why cooking utensils, they are alloyed, or alloying is used to produce stainless steels, so that we can prevent it from rusting. So these are some of the prevention of rusting, the techniques of prevention of rusting. Just read out it again. You might got it in your short questions. Okay, so this is all about rusting. Next, corrosion of copper. Not only iron, other metals also sometimes they got corrosion. Corrosion means slow destruction when they are exposed to atmospheric moisture. So this next one is the corrosion of copper. Rusting is the corrosion it forms copper oxide. Okay, oxygen along with moisture. Okay, and when I am using the term when it is exposed to atmosphere means obviously it is exposed to moisture. Okay, so when copper reacts with oxygen, it forms copper oxide. Here I have written the equation also. 4Cu plus O2, 2Cu2. Okay, copper oxide is formed. Generally, you might have observed a greenish layer is formed over copper. When copper is exposed to atmosphere, a greenish layer is formed over it. Okay, and this the formation of the greenish layer is only known as corrosion of copper. Okay, next, corrosion of aluminium. Aluminium is a metal also can undergo corrosion when it is exposed to moisture or when it is exposed to atmosphere. So aluminium when reacts with oxygen, it forms aluminium oxide. Okay, aluminium oxide is generally brownish or blackish like structure. It forms. We can see the equation 4Al plus 3O2 forms 2Al2O3. Okay, so aluminium when it is exposed to oxygen, it forms aluminium oxide, reddish brown color. And the important thing for the formation of aluminium oxide is that I have mentioned in the rusting that once iron get exposed to atmosphere, once it get rusted, gradually iron will get damaged. But when aluminium get corrode, or when aluminium undergo corrosion and layer is formed, when aluminium oxide is formed, again further corrosion will not take place. Okay, it will stop in the primary step, primary process. Okay, so this is all about corrosion of aluminium. The next one is corrosion of silver. Silver, you might have observed when silver is kept for a longer period, when it is exposed to atmosphere, it forms slightly blackish layer over it. That is only corrosion of silver. Generally, corrosion of silver, aluminium, lead occurs after a very long period. Okay, rusting can take place when iron is when it is exposed to moisture. Easily it can get rust. But corrosion of silver occurs, but in a very slow process. Okay, so we can see silver when it is exposed to the atmospheric pollutant, mostly hydrogen sulfide. Okay, so when silver exposed to the atmospheric pollutants, it get corrode or it undergo corrosion. So here we can write the equation for it. Silver when reacts with hydrogen sulfide, it forms silver sulfide. Okay, 2Ag plus H2S gives rise to Ag2S plus H2. Okay, silver sulfide. Got it? So silver sulfide is a blackish layer over silver. When silver undergo corrosion, it forms a blackish layer over it, that is known as silver sulfide. Okay. Corrosion of lead. Lead can also undergo corrosion. Okay. So when lead is exposed to atmospheric moisture for a very longer period, it undergo corrosion and form lead carbonate. Okay. Here we can see the equation for it. So when lead is exposed to atmosphere for a longer period, it forms lead oxide and then it reacts with carbon dioxide to form lead carbonate. The equation for it we can write PbO plus CO2 gives rise to PbCO3. Okay, lead when it reacts with the atmospheric gases like carbon dioxide, it forms lead carbonate. Okay, so these are some of the metals which undergo corrosion. Not only these, again some more metals are there, you will read in your higher class. So corrosion is nothing but the slow destruction of metals and we can prevent corrosion. Okay, and rusting is a very widely seen corrosion of metal, and these are some processes by which you can prevent rusting. These techniques you can also use it for your grills of house, for the gates of your house, for your own cycle, for your own vehicle or any machinery parts, you can use it. Okay, so these are some of the Got it? So this is the topic of our today's class. Again go through your book, again read out the topic, find out the doubts,